Hi, I'm James with British Customs. Today we'll be installing this Motogadget Cafe Mirror Kit on this 2022 Triumph Street Twin. We want to start by removing this rubber cap. And under here you'll find two nuts. One of these is just a lock nut that keeps the mirror locked in place when you adjust it. We want to remove from the bottom nut here. Using a 14mm wrench, just loosen it up and then spin the mirror out. Depending on which kit you bought, you'll either receive a whole block-off kit that you would just screw in to block off this hole where the mirror once was, or you can completely get rid of this nub by installing this kit with a 5mm Allen. You would remove those and put this on, tighten it up. When you're screwing in this cap, you'll find a tight spot most of the time where you can't turn it by hand. If that happens, there's a small little hole right here that goes all the way through. If you use your smallest Allen key, which should be like a 1.5mm, fits right in there. If you don't have that, just find anything that fits in there that's not too big, that will scratch up your anodizing, and just use that to turn it in. So you get all the way down, and that'll allow you to make it nice and tight. So we want to repeat the same thing on this side. We're going to pick up the rubber cap, and again we want to remove from the bottom nut. In this situation, you have the mirror is holding this master cylinder reservoir on, so you want to make sure you don't just let that drop down. You want to hold it, so when you loosen it, it doesn't fall and scratch something. Then we can take our cap, put that on, and again using our 1.5mm Allen or something that fits in there without scratching anything, you can tighten it up. The other option we have is to replace this whole clamp that gets rid of this nub completely here. In order to do that, we need to relocate the master cylinder reservoir. So using your T30 Torx bit, you take this screw off. You want to be careful not to disconnect any of these hoses, because if you leak out .4 brake fluid, it will ruin the paint on your gas tank. And you don't want to introduce air into your brake system either. Next step I'm going to do is remove this cap, which you wouldn't have had to do if you got the kit, so it doesn't matter. So using your 5mm Allen hex bit, remove these two screws, holding your master cylinder in place so you don't drop it. And you can try and keep your alignment. If not, you can readjust it after you get it all together. Put the clamp kit. You want to hold it here. Start with your bottom screw. Install that. Using your 4mm Allen hex bit, you want to snug that screw up. Now you can let go of your master cylinder and it won't fall. Get the longer screw from the kit. Put it through your reservoir. And put the spacer so it goes in between. Now you have to turn this hose so you can get the screw in. Again, using your 4mm Allen hex bit, snug this screw up. You may have to loosen the bottom screw a little bit to get your alignment so that you don't strip your screw threads out. You want to make sure your reservoir stays straight up and down. Now we're going to install the mirror. There's a brass insert here. This is for 7/8 inch bars. You would remove this if you're installing it on a 1-inch bar. But in this case, we have a 7/8 bar, so we want to keep that on. Slide it on. You don't want to push it in so far that you're hitting this, and when you put your end cap on, it will cause a binding issue. So we put it on loosely. And then we're going to put our stainless steel end cap on using our 4mm Allen hex bit. And then we can pull this back, like up against the bar end. You want to keep your brass insert flush with the mounting. So if you have to, get a screwdriver and just push it back in. You have to work it around a little bit to get it to go, just to make sure they stay flush. Then you can adjust the angle that you want it at. And with your 4mm Allen hex, tighten it up. And before you just go out riding, you want to make sure that this isn't going to hit the tank when you go full left to right. Make sure this bracket doesn't interfere with your brake lever and your twist grip moves, and repeat on the other side. On the left side, you need to remove this plastic piece. Just pry it out. If you try to leave it on there, you won't be able to get this mirror on. Push it on. With your 4mm Allen hex bit, and screw on the end cap. Pull that flush. Get a screwdriver and work the brass bushing back. Okay. And then with our 4mm Allen hex bit, put that screw in. So now we'll set up the angle that we like our mirrors to be at before we fully tighten it. Again, you want to make sure that your mirror is not going to hit the tank when you go full left. Make sure the bracket does not interfere with your clutch lever. And that's it for the Cafe Mirror Kit.